So we're tied at a game apiece. The Red Sox won game one. The Cardinals got a split.
Well, this series has been fun so far, hasn't it? And the Cardinals lead 4-2. But these Red Sox have found a way to tie game three. John Jay could end game three, facing O'Hara, second and third, tie game of the night. Pedroia makes the play. Throw home. 2 out. Over the third. It gets away. Alan Craig is going to come to the plate. Here's the throw.
What's the call here? What's the call? Are they going to call him?
Oh, they called it safe.
Interference.
They called interference. Interference down at third base with the third baseman.
And the Cardinals have won this game 5-4.
On a crazy, wild way to end the World Series Game 3.
Welcome to the Road to the World Series presented by Ford Sync. Matt Waymeyer alongside CJ Nitkowski and Mark McLemore, and just another ho-hum average night at the ballpark. It was anything but. The St. Louis Cardinals defeat the Boston Red Sox in Game 3 of the World Series 5-4 as the Cardinals take a 2-1 lead courtesy of walk-off obstruction, something you don't see every day to say the least. And Mark lets us set the stage in the bottom of the ninth. The Cardinals had second and third, only one away. Red Sox closer Koji Uehara facing John Jay.
Well, John Jay's at the plate with runners at second and third base from 1 out. The game-winning run at third base. He hits a ground ball to Dustin Pedroia, who makes a tremendous diving catch. Comes up, throws to Saltalamacchia at the plate. They get Molina at the plate for 1 out, and then Saltalamacchia throws the ball to third base to Middlebrooks. Throws it a little up the line a little bit. Middlebrooks can't get to it. The ball deflects down into the left field corner. Now, here's where the problem starts. The obstruction play takes place here. When Craig gets up, Middlebrooks is still laying on the ground. Craig tries to come home and trips over Middlebrooks, but gets up and continues home and then is thrown out at the plate. But Jimmy Joyce, the third base umpire, calls obstruction right away. And so the play at the plate doesn't really matter. It's obstruction. He's awarded home plate, and the game is over. That's a very tough way to lose a ball game. And, you know, you look at the rule. What the rule states is that it doesn't matter whether there was intent there or not. That's just part of it. So Cardinals win a great ball game, but a very, very tough loss for Boston.
It's a tough loss, and I think really for Red Sox fans, if you're going to be mad about anything, don't be mad about the rule. Be mad about what happened on that play. Saltalamacchia probably should not make that throw. There doesn't look like there's much of a play at third base to begin with. And then on top of it, Will Middlebrooks just did not look like he gave much of an effort to stop that ball from getting past him. I mean, he had an opportunity. It wasn't a terrible throw. Yes, it was up the line a little bit, but he just looked like he was unprepared to receive that throw. If he's a little bit more alert, a little bit more aware of the fact that if this ball goes in the outfield, this game is probably over, and he gets off and blocks that ball, we're not having this conversation.
So a very strange way for any ball game to end, much less a game in the World Series. And for further clarification on the call which gave the Cardinals a Game 3 win, let's hear from Executive Vice President for Baseball Operations, Joe Torre.
Intentional and not intentional. It means not. He just has to clear the path. I know sometimes it's unfair because he's laying on the ground, but that's the way the rule is.
And for more on the obstruction call which gave the Cardinals a Game 3 win, we send it out to Busch Stadium. Here is Pete McCarthy with Frank Thomas.
Thanks, guys. Well, a classic finish in Game 3 of this year's World Series as an obstruction call leads to the game-winning run coming in. Let's start there. Jim Joyce makes the call. Will Middlebrooks, Alan Craig were tied up at third base. Was it obstruction? Did Middlebrooks stick out the leg a little extra?
First, it was obstruction. Second, you don't want to see a World Series game end like that, but I think Jim Joyce got it right. You cannot obstruct the runner from advancing to the next base. Same things happen at first base. Wild throw to first base. We lay on the runners. They awarded third base. So I've been a part of that play a couple times. They got the call right.
How about the way the inning developed? Yadier Molina with the 1-out bloop single. Following that, Koji Uehara comes out of the Boston Red Sox bullpen. Alan Craig pinch hitting, unable to play because of a foot injury at first base. And Craig able to come through.
Alan Craig showed you why he's a great big league hitter and why he's hit fourth with his team all year long. He's driven more runs than any player on that lineup all year long. He's a clutch hitter. For him to come in without not having the time over the last couple of months, it's a special. I tip my hat to him for coming in a big hit right there in a big key situation to help this St. Louis Cardinals win this ball game.
And you could tell he was gutting it to home plate on that final play. He ended up getting the base nonetheless, but he was hurting a little bit on his way to the plate with the game-winning run. Let's go back a little bit. First inning, Jake Peavy's on the hill for the Boston Red Sox, and the Cardinals 2 runs on 4 hits right off the bat. What do you think of their approach?
I'm sure they were told to get to Jake Peavy, you got to get him early in the count. He likes to throw first pitch strikes, and they took advantage of that early in the game, and it was big for them to get out to a 2-0 lead.
And the St. Louis Cardinals ultimately win this one by a final of 5-4. For Frank Thomas and Pete McCarthy, let's go back to you.
Okay, Pete and Frank, thanks very much. On the other side of the break, a look ahead to Game 4 of the Fall Classic when the Road to the World Series presented by Ford Sync continues.